How's everybody doing out there? This is the Black Effect. I am your host, Nico B. I want to go ahead and get into this video very quickly. As you see on the screen, you have employees coming out against some of these companies and sharing information that you never would have been privy to, basically insider information. And this is very interesting and very telling. You see, an elementary school teacher was encouraged to focus on mostly the medium kids in the school and basically just neglect any the other kids who were falling behind. I mean, and we kind of knew this. You know that all the cakes at the grocery store is frozen and the icing comes in buckets. Mental health counselors sometimes counselors are forced to give a diagnosis, oftentimes based on contracts and counties. What is said to be ODD is really trauma for untreated ADHD. Many kids diagnosed with ADHD or ADD may very well just be normal kids. So this is you have these things that people are blowing the whistle on, basically. Some of these people are anonymous, you know. Some of these people are willing to give their name. They probably retired or something like that. But a lot of these people are anonymous. They probably still work for the place, but they willing to put themselves on the line and give you this information. I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of jobs. Like, I know it's jobs that have you just flat out lying to people. You know, there's jobs that will have you misleading customers and flat out lying to people. It says social workers at my job will sometimes give money to clients anonymously or bribe other businesses to give better quality service out of their own pockets. This is, you have people doing bad business practices. You got bosses bribing other companies. You have the pharmaceutical companies doing bad ethics practices with these practicing bad ethics with these doctors, basically bribing the doctor into coercing you into he basically bribing the doctor into sell their drugs, man. You know, you have let me see right here. You have tutors who getting paid, and teachers and stuff getting paid or getting told to focus on certain kids and not other children. You have mental health counselors going into the field for the wrong reasons. Some mental health counselors are dealing with their own traumas. They only specialize in one way of thinking and not the full spectrum of mental health. So they on her teaching you falsehoods and from rackets, pushing you drugs that you shouldn't be taking, techniques that's not proven. They say, I work for a homeless shelter for women. We'll tell applicants for the shelter to come into the office to do the screening form, and based on the information, they'll determine if it's a good fit. So that means if the women come into a homeless shelter and if they have mental health issues or they're too old or something like that, or they, may have some type of other baggage or whatever, the people at the homeless shelter will deem them unfit. But you don't know that. They'll never tell you that. They're not going to tell you that. It say I work for a small family-run farm. Despite an alleged 5-star hygiene rating, the kitchens are disgusting, and the farmer frequently helps make customers food without washing his hands. You wouldn't know that, unless the anonymous employee told you that. Say I work in a dive bar with lots of pool tables and gambling going on. The owner has suspicious amounts of money, apparently from trafficking drugs, out of the back. You understand? These strip clubs, man, you already know what go on in these strip clubs. They not even really real businesses. Nigga, they running drugs out the back, prostitution going on out the back. This woman say I work for a retail clothing brand with about 250 brick and mortar stores. And each one of these stores, you can access the company email and database with just the same, just changing the store number. Like it has the same password, everything else. You can go across the board and, basically disrupt a lot of things. They need to have more security protocol. I could go on and on with just my own. I'm reading from this list, but I'm going on from my own experience. You have companies, like I said, who will flat out tell you to lie to the customers about where you are, who you work for. Basically, you got companies telling you to mislead the customer, lead them this way, lead them that way, without giving full disclosure. Companies will have you not to basically neglect the full disclosure in order to sucker the customer in. Again, like I said, in these strip clubs and companies like Hooters or Twin Peaks, you know how much sexual harassment and bad business practices is going on. Bosses trying to solicit oral sex and things like that for, in order to get the woman a job and all this, the stuff like that's going on. Like, let's be real. I mean, a lot of these jobs just not on the up and up. They don't want to. They hiring customers. I mean, they hiring people. They don't want to pay them. They hire. You have companies who hire illegals, hire people, illegal immigrants, and just so they don't have to pay them what they worth, and just so they could treat them any kind of way and treat them like slaves. I've had people who told me that they bosses, basically telling them all these, trying to treat them like a modern day slave, like you my Toby. I had a dude tell me that his boss told him that, said, "You're my Toby." And it's like, because he was training another employee under him, and he was and his boss came to him and was like, "You treating him like I treat you. You making him your Toby like you my Toby." And I'm like, come on, man. Like, how you gonna try to tell somebody that you're a Toby? These jobs, man, they really need to get it together. And that's why customer service is suffering all around the board. People will be hard. They will find themselves in a hard place if they was to go to the store and then there's nobody there to service them, to service the store. If you was to go to Walmart and they didn't have nothing was on the shelf stocked because there was no workers to drive there, unload the trucks. There was nobody to stock the shelves and nobody to check people out. You understand? So these people are what run the company. In this world, we have a symbiotic relationship with each other. We all are collective. We have a collective relationship. You understand? One person does in this group of people, and that what one person does affects the whole. Okay? And when you collectively get together, we can create good things that work, but we have to maintain them together. You understand? And keep these things working. But as like I said, with jobs doing the practicing these bad ethics with their employees and customers, a lot of companies are gonna tank. In the coming years, a lot of companies are gonna go under. You're gonna see some more rise up, and it's gonna be the rise through the ethics, through the way that they treat their customers and employees. You have some employers who will actually give their employees stock options. Give them stake in the company, actually make them feel like they're a family, like their family, or that they care about them. And then some companies who just be like, man, look, I don't give a damn what happened to you. You can barbecue or mildew. I mean, either or. It really don't matter to me. And this is what I'm saying. Like, people are gonna start abandoning the job force and for doing their own things. If you look back in the days and really the most important, in other countries, really the most important thing is working for yourself and providing for you and your household. You look at other countries, man, these people have their own little shops and stalls or whatever they producing for themselves. They work for themselves and they bring their money back home. They live a modest life, but they live in a peaceful and happy life. A lot of you people chase money so much, that you go and just you just go put yourself and sell yourself to one of these jobs that's basically treats you like shit and stress you out and is gonna take years off your life. But you doing that just trying to pay a car note. You're doing that trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to go on a vacation or something like that. Stop that. It ain't even worth all that. It's not. And again, these jobs not gonna care about you if you get sick or something like that. You only get, or you die. Like, they're just gonna replace you. So stop. Don't buy into these jobs, putting your all into them. Use it for, understand for what it is. If you lucky enough to be a type of person to find a job that you love, and go ahead and stay there and be the best at it. More power to you. But most people, they have to work jobs just to make money. That's not actually a job they love, or that was they calling and God's purpose on their life. That's just not the truth for most people. But I suggest that you find that. Like, that's how you can attain true happiness. Because these jobs will take a lot of your time. Then, they'll take up 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week. Man, multiply that times 365 days, or minus the weekend. You're giving these people a lot of your time, for exchange. And the exchange of money is not worth it all the time. These jobs don't want to meet the cost of living. They only want to give you just enough, not enough to be able to save some of your own and build on your own. And then they have you out here lying, practicing all these bad business ethics where you don't even feel good, at the end of the day, like about your job, or you don't feel like you've accomplished anything or helped anyone. You understand?